Yo, 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 and welcome everybody. We're about to get started here today. Let me just quickly make sure that our lovely community is in here as well. I give them a final ping and then we head it off. Okay. There we go. All right, guys, welcome. Well, as you know, like usually, I'm hosting the broadcast. My name is Paulus. You probably have seen me over the last few weeks on the broadcast, and today we have an interesting one once again. So let's start with some of the some of the achievements that we have had so far. As of now, we have over 20,000 unique wallets that have used the faucet in our testnet. Over 65,000 people have used our bonding treasury and the testnet. The bonding feature on the testnet. Over 120,000 times people stake their tokens. And even more interesting, which a lot of people have been asking for, is some information on how many people have now completed all 6 of the 6 tasks in testnet. Well, over 2,000 people have completed those already. So that's really starting to look like something. Additionally, over 400 people have already had the diamond roll in our Discord, which is one of the other questions that a lot of people have been asking us recently. So yeah, those numbers really make me bullish on reform once again. And today we're gonna dive into a couple of very interesting subjects. Of course, topics, I would say. Of course, we're gonna talk about something that was some things that were in the news over the last few days. We're gonna do that with our good friend Scorpio, who's gonna join us again in the new studio today, where we will go very soon. We'll dive into the reformed tokenomics, which Scorpio knows everything about, so that's gonna be very interesting. And we'll of course have another Q&A session at the end. We got some questions from the community. We'll dive into some of those. And there is another announcement because our academy, our third airdrop, is about to go live as well, which will be tomorrow. But more about that at the end of the space. So just give us a quick moment, and we'll run towards the Reform Studio where Scorpio is already waiting patiently for us. All right, and we're back in the in the Reform News Studio, and look who is with me today, Scorpio.
Alrighty. Let's go again. New rounds, new chances, new opportunities. Let's go, Reform community.
It's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you know? New round, new chances.
Exactly.
Let's become all millionaires with Reform, you know? I'm sure it will happen. How have you been? How is everything going?
Yeah, everything going well. I think, we will dive into the market in a bit, I guess. Looking at your, or let's say hearing your points. But with me personally, always going well. We're just arranging everything for the launch, making sure everything is, arranged properly. And that, we're going to have one of the biggest launches in crypto. I think with that, it's just main focus. Everyone is full force ahead, full steam ahead. And of course, we have you, the community, supporting us with that. So that's great. Looking forward to it.
Nice. Love to hear it. All right. So yeah, indeed, we're gonna dive into the news of the last few days, and oh boy, what's it been a roller coaster again? It doesn't stop in the bull market, I would say. So I mean, first of all, you're gonna know what I'm gonna start with, right? Bitcoin reaching an all-time high, over 69,000 already, and obviously followed by a healthy pullback, I guess. But your opinion on it?
Yeah, at first, congratulations to everyone who held their bags in the storm and kept it until now. So you are a real diamond holder in that sense, diamond handler. Yeah, so I think this is again a pivotal moment in the crypto space, right? If Bitcoin crosses the all-time high, it historically just gives room for a very very big accelerated push up. So that's great for the space for newly starting tokens like us, and yeah, just very cool to make it, yeah, to again experience this since I've been in the space since 2017. I've experienced all-time highs like multiple times, but yeah, this is again a milestone for everyone, and yeah, I think it's great for the space as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I think it also looks very interesting because I mean I've read quite a lot about it, but I'm curious about your opinion. Why do you think it's already peaking so much now before the halving? Is it really the rumors, buy the rumors, sell the news, or is it really
Well,
the
I think
ETFs?
yeah, I think it's really the ETFs, right? So historically it has always been accelerating after the halving. Now we're already at all-time high when the halving did not even occur yet. So the question is like, will we go sideways for a bit until May or something like that, and then yeah, start the really accelerated bull run, which is normally going to take like a year, 1.5 years, something like that. So that will be like for everyone just to enjoy a very good ride. Yeah, other than that, I think the ETF really contributed to it and made it already accelerating to where it is today. So yeah, it's a good development. It's a good thing, and also Bitcoin at all-time high right now. It went a little bit fast, a little bit too fast for my liking, but yeah, who says that it cannot keep on going?
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about the ETF and the trading volume of it hitting what was it? I think $6 billion last week,
Yeah,
which was
yeah, it
already
was.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yesterday it crossed $10 billion.
Yeah, but still, these numbers, it's like it's peanuts. If you see the price increase of Bitcoin already and the capital that's still in TradFi that needs to flow that will flow towards Bitcoin, like 10 billion, it's nothing. Like one fund, a small fund, I know somewhere in America that does traditional finance has this under management. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
it's daily volume, so that's pretty.
Yeah, but if you see, for example, I think I checked yesterday also the buys. So everyone who bought through the ETF, it was like 10 billion or 7 or 8 billion or something.
Okay. I thought it
Or
was
did
quite.
I?
I thought it was daily the volume that they mentioned in those articles.
Okay, well, you go on. I will check it out and then I will get
Yeah,
back to you.
I might be wrong on this one because one of the other points that I have on my list of news is actually that BlackRock and Fidelity together hold over 270,000 bitcoins in their ETFs right now, which is already worth over $18 billion.
Okay, yeah, well, it's interesting because I have a dashboard that I'm watching, which
Mm-hmm.
has Bitcoin ETF flows 8.11 billion right now. So that's yeah. As I said, yesterday it was 7.8 something. But anyway, let's just continue. It's good numbers. It pushed the price up quite significantly, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're of course here for. So
Absolutely.
yeah, everyone is enjoying those nice profits and holding on to their bags, with their dear life.
Exactly. And I mean, obviously, not financial advice, but I think we're nowhere near done. We're just getting started, and it's going super fast. But yeah, I'm still very bullish for the coming 1 to 2 years for sure. Um, well, let's continue on the bull train because ETH is also gearing up towards its new all-time high. I mean, we're not there yet, but it hit $3,900 this morning. You followed ETH as well as closely as you did with Bitcoin.
Well, I think this is a time that you want to pivot a little bit from your Bitcoin to Ethereum. Ethereum has been underperforming against Bitcoin quite significantly over the past 1 year or 1.5 year. So this is a time to rebalance portfolios and go more into ETH. in that sense. Also, Ethereum ETF, of course, coming up somewhere this year, maybe next year, but at least it is coming. It's not as I don't know who said it, but it's not a question of if, but it's a question of when. So yeah, you know, that's of course something we're anticipating on also, and which is very good, and looking at the shiny horizon in that sense.
Definitely, yeah. It was the CEO of BlackRock who said it. There was one of our news items last week, indeed, that it's not when, but it's when, not if, indeed. And what I read now, it's they're aiming at like July, August this year, but I don't know what the status is of the filing of those at the SEC and at the different departments in the US, but
yeah, well, it would be great, right? August of this year, then run towards that. Ethereum, of course, everyone's going to speculate, trying to front run those ETFs going live. And with the ETFs going live, well, we saw it happening with Bitcoin. Of course, a lot of extra capital will flow in. So yeah, this is great. Again, nice developments for the space. A lot of positivity in the space right now in comparison to, well, 1 to 1.5 years ago, where there was a lot of negativity in the space. But yeah, you know, we're at a point where we can all enjoy, let's say, a well-blown market.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's always in a bull run, right? Everyone is happy because everyone is making backs. Well, hopefully everyone is. Well, to continue on the same subject, actually, because that's what most of the news is about right now, which at least is the news that people are paying attention to. And that is that BlackRock also started filing to buy more Bitcoin ETFs for various funds that they have, which I think is extremely bullish. So their SIO fund is one of those, which is like one of their biggest funds. I don't have all the details written down, so I would have to look that up. But basically, it comes down to the fact that they're now spreading the Bitcoin ETF towards multiple of their funds instead of just the main fund that it was located at right now, which is already doing so ridiculous well towards the market. So imagine if they're spreading it, and even more and more traditional finance money flows into the Bitcoin ETF. It just seems that it's not yet close to where it's going to be very soon.
Well, you know, for my liking, let them make as much and as many ETFs as they want, because you know, the more there are, the better. BlackRock has like 9 trillion assets under management, so you know, there's still a long way to go. If we just get all that capital inflow, you know, we will see very, very nice numbers.
And that's just one of the companies, right? There's so many more out there.
And that's exactly what I meant, right? You know, it's the scale is enormous. Is enormous.
Absolutely. I mean, I always try to refrain from saying what the new all-time high is going to be and stuff, because everyone just throws their numbers randomly out there. But over the last 1.5, 2 years, I don't know what you heard, but most of the people that I heard is like the next bull run can be 150 to 200K for Bitcoin. And with this news, I'm not even getting surprised anymore if we would surpass that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a specialist here in that area, but with all this news coming day in, day out, wow.
Yeah, we will see a good market. That's one thing for sure. So you know, on a side note, please everyone also stay you know, wary of all the profits you're making. Also safeguard them. That's also an important one. But anyway, you know, it's just an idea from someone who has been in the space for a while, who learned by you know, learning it the hard way.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I have 2 more points. One of them is that MicroStrategy, that we have spoken about quite a lot over the last few weeks, is planning to raise another $600 million. And I give you one guess for you to think what they want to do with the $600 million.
By the Ethereum ETF, I wanted to say.
No, they want to buy more Bitcoin.
I automatically already said Bitcoin, so.
Yeah. It's true. They plan to, I believe, sell more shares of the company to raise 600 million to buy more Bitcoin, which is just very interesting.
Yeah, and then to imagine that they already have like well, let me see, something like 6 or 7 trillion in in Bitcoin. Oh, 5 trillion billion, sorry, trillion is a little bit much, billion.
They're one of the top 5 holders of Bitcoin, I believe, right now.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And then I want to close it off with something which is not really crypto related news, but I thought it was very funny. Have you used your Instagram yesterday?
Yeah, just watching a few of those. I tend to look sometimes. When I just want to do some brain dead things, I tend to look at those food videos, which also give me inspirations to cook. So this is like, I think, my guilty pleasure or something. But
Nice.
I was on my Instagram for a bit.
You didn't notice that Instagram was out like half of the day?
Oh no, I actually did not notice anything. Like I said, I'm only
That's
doing
good.
it for a bit.
You're not too addicted yet. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So apparently yesterday there was a massive outage of Meta. Both the Meta, the Facebook platform, and the Insta platform were down, and they used the X platform to announce this to the world, which I
Oh,
thought was
seriously.
quite. They had to go to like Twitter, X to announce that their own platforms were down.
That's quite hilarious. Using your competitor to announce something that's failing in your own system. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see news like that, right? Because you see more and more like Meta is becoming so big, they're buying all these companies on the side, like they did with Instagram, with WhatsApp, and then when they go down, everything is down at the same time. So it's like it's good to see that there's also other platforms out there still, because otherwise we'll all be in the dark soon if one of them fails.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that's all the news that I got for this week. I wanted to keep it very bullish and focused on the main points in the market. There's, of course, a lot more that happened, but we don't have all the time in the world, unfortunately. So, let's move over to the Reform Academy and discuss the Reform tokenomics.
Let's go.
Perfect. See you there. All right. We're back at the Reform Academy. How are you?
Alrighty.
Was still a bit of a run.
Yeah. We're here.
I'm still not the fastest, but we got there in time.
We got there. Okay, exactly.
All right. So, before we start and deep dive into the tokenomics of Reform, let's do a little bit of a recap of what we discussed over the last weeks. Yeah, let's start with we mainly spoke about the value flow and reform, right? So about the bonding treasury and how people can invest into the bonding treasury, buy the reform tokens at a discount to the market value, where that money will go towards the Dow treasury, which will then actively be used by the engine to do high frequency trading, which creates a profit. And from the profits, we will buy back reform tokens from the public exchanges, so basically from the public market, making the supply less again, and putting that back into the bonding treasury for people to buy again at a discount. That's very simply said the core, and then there's various activities around that which all generate towards or benefit the Dow treasury and grow the Dow treasury. And maybe you can quickly list the 3 other activities that we have which will generate profits that go towards the Dow treasury.
Yeah, for sure. So we have, of course, like Paolo said, different streams that fill the treasury and that make it bigger and better. Not only the inflow of the bonding treasury makes it grow. No, only also other aspects. One of them is rebates. So rebates is a very big topic in exchanges whenever you provide significant amount of volume, let's say liquidity, and generate volume with it. Then the other one is actually arbitrage. So arbitrage is also an important part of making prices the same on different exchanges, centralized as well as decentralized. And then the third one, and actually the most important one, is the designated market making for projects, whereby we provide as a service liquidity providing to a project, and then in the end, are left with a bunch of tokens and either stable coins, Ethereum or Bitcoin, depends on the trading pair, and that will all be added to the Dow treasury to suffice for, again, high frequency trading and liquidity provision to generate the realized profit for buybacks.
Exactly. So, well, we've deep dived into all of that before. I really would recommend people to go back to the broadcast and the spaces we did before and really look into that. And more about how you can learn later, because as I mentioned already, we're going to launch the Reform Academy tomorrow at the end of the day. And we have multiple episodes within the Academy where you can learn about exactly what we just explained. So basically the entire flow within Reform and how different activities generate liquidity or generate volume and generate money that goes to the Dow treasury, and how that's used to grow Reform as a company, how it's a circular economy, so it continuously moves on, and everyone that's part of this will benefit from it. So we spoke a lot about what Reform is going to do, but obviously we've said what we're going to do is all related to the Reform token. So let's dive into the details of the Reform token. So to start, maybe we can dive a little bit into what will the holder receive from having the token. So what's the benefit of having the Reform token?
Yeah, so I think the biggest one, and that's also, we had to elaborate on all the exchanges and launch pads and everything. Okay, what are the utilities of your token, right? So I think the biggest one, and that's actually, it doesn't always have to be in that sense utility that people can really use it. It's also like value accrual to the token, which is very important. Of course, everyone invests because they are aiming for a price to go up, right? So if there's a value accrual to the token, that's super important. So our value accrual to the token is the buybacks that you actually do with the realized profits. And the buybacks actually suffice for value generated to the token, because the price will go up by taking out circulating supply and putting that back in the bonding treasury. So that's one. I think another one which is super important is, of course, we're a DAO, so the governance aspect is an important part to vote for the bigger changes within the ecosystem, especially on do we want to maybe initiate a burn, or do we want to allocate less to the R&D or anything like that. All those kind of things can be decided upon by the community. It can actually be it can be submitted by someone through the governance forum, and then actually if that goes through, it goes to the snapshot, and there everyone can actually vote. Then the third one, and which is actually, I think, also quite significant one and an important one, and that's that everyone is also going to enjoy benefit from the designated market making that we do for projects. So tokens that will actually be allocated from the project that we do market making for will be shared with our community if they're staking the token. So people are going to stake the token for extra reform, as well as extra tokens that are going to be generating from designated market making. So in the end, that's all the utilities for now. We're of course aiming to expand on all of that, but these are the three that are most important.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes the company, right? And obviously we'll be adding more and more utilities along the way, but I think it's already quite a lot. We will do a deep dive into governance, how the DAO works, and all of that in a later broadcast, guys. So we'll not dive too much into that, but indeed that's a very important part of holding the tokens, because basically the power is with you, right? Power with the people, power with the holders, and not with the big bad company behind it. And that's also why we decided, or why Reform decided to be a DAO instead of just a regular market maker, which I think is very powerful. And also what you mentioned with the tokens from the projects that we do designated market making for, we will also dive into another subject soon in one of the future spaces or broadcasts around the NFTs, which also will benefit towards getting those tokens. So there's really a lot that's still coming. And I guess that NFT somehow will also be linked towards a utility of the token, right? At least buying the token, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's still a lot to come, but I think with what you already mentioned, it's very strong. It's it really makes it interesting for people to own a token, I would say. So now that people know why they should hold the token, let's dive into the supply structure, because I think that's something that's very important. And yeah, maybe you can talk more about this. Walk us through the supply structure of the Reform token.
Yeah, I actually need to get it here in front of me. I know it, of course, also partially from my
yeah,
head.
I already thought so.
No problem. I will just pick it here. I can actually start already with the bonding treasury. So the bonding treasury is of course 40% of the total supply, which is quite significant. It's quite a lot. 20% will be sold in the seed bonding towards, let's say, credible parties that can actually support us with launching and in the long term. So that's ongoing as of now. It's already, capital has already been raised. It's already in the algorithms itself, and we're actually going to announce the realized profits anytime soon. So keep also in the loop for that, because the realized profits is of course what it's all about. The money that is actually already being made by the algorithms, actually sufficing for the buybacks. So that's one. The 40% of the bonding treasury, 20% towards the seed bonding, 20% is left to actually sell on market price whenever the token goes live. Then we have 30% in the staking treasury. This will actually logarithmically. Can I continue?
Let me just quickly intrude for a second, because I think it's important that we take one quick step back, because we mentioned the 40%, but 40% of what? How many tokens are there in total?
Yeah, it's for me like 40% out of 100%, but in total there will be 1 billion tokens.
Yeah. Okay, all good. Yeah, of course the percentages work, but I think it's good for people to also understand the total amount of tokens, and then they can make their own calculations. And I quickly wanted to ask you as a follow-up on the 40% that's in the bonding treasury, 20% is going to be sold of that. So 20% is sold in the seed bonding. So basically the investments that are done right now before the TGE. Do you have an estimate on how long the average investment will be locked? Because I know quite a lot of people locked it for quite a long time already, right?
Yeah, you're actually right. So we had a lot of support from people that and parties that really believe in the project. They see the cycle rather ending like within a year or maybe like 1.5 years. So they either need to lock it for 1 year, which they are not very keen on because it's not the best price incentive for them and not the best staking weight. So for them, it's like very interesting to actually do it for 5 years because they're aiming for the next cycle. So we have now of the money that's being raised, 70% actually allocated towards the 5-year lock. This means actually that those tokens will not be in circulation for the coming 5 years. Of course, they will be also in the staking treasury and earning staking rewards. But yeah, you know, having this substantial amount locked in 5 years is like, yeah, it's crazy. In crypto, everyone of course thinks in a, you know, very short time horizon. But yeah, you just see that the investors that we got on board are all very bullish on reform, and just locking it for 5 years shows their dedication.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's just something I think it's important to mention as well when we say that such a big part of the tokens is already allocated towards people that invested in the seed rounds, that these people, most of them indeed allocated it for a very long time. So those tokens will not be in circulation anytime soon. Okay, we'll continue. You mentioned 30% in the staking treasury.
Yeah, 30% in the staking treasury, of course, for yeah, everyone who buys through the bonding or stakes his or her tokens through yeah, the contract, actually gets staking rewards that's distributed from the staking treasury. This is 30%, and yeah, 30% of the total supply, so 300 million tokens, just to be clear on that. And yeah, you know, this will be logarithmically decreasing over time, and actually 0.05% of the overall treasury will be actually yeah, released every day. So that's how it actually logarithmically decreases, because yeah, every day there will be less tokens in the staking treasury, and every day it will take 0.05% of that treasury towards the staking reward.
Yeah. Okay. Then you have it in front of you, right? Or do you want me to? Because I have it in front of me as well. I can ask you.
Yeah,
Next.
you can do it. You can just.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So then we have the team and advisors, 13%.
Yeah, so of course, team and advisors, it's mainly, of course, due to the fact that we want to have solid advisors already on board right now. We, of course, announced Mark van der Scheijs last week, which is like a phenomenal yeah, asset to reform. He has a lot of knowledge in entrepreneurship, and founded already some significant companies. One of them, which is, yeah, of course, Hut 8, and Hut 8 is one of the 4 biggest mining companies, Bitcoin mining companies in the world. So that's yeah, that's crazy. So he has a lot of experience in the crypto space, and yeah, we're happy that he's supporting us. But yeah, that's where the allocation of the advisor goes to, and then team is mainly allocated for core contributors to incentivize them just a little bit more with bonuses or anything like that, and to make sure that they're also aligned with the success of the project. If more people, you know, from the DAO actually and from the community are submitting and want to join the team, yeah, we're also able to actually allocate tokens from that treasury to those people to incentivize everyone appropriately.
I think the majority should go to Scorpio and Paulus. You know, we do the hard work here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, absolutely. No, you're good. It's an interesting approach, because what I've seen a lot in my time in crypto, and I'm not a expert in that way, but what I've seen is that a lot of projects actually give the dedicated tokens to the people that are already working there. So basically, people sign a SAFT and they get an X amount of tokens as part of the team. Whereas I believe here it's more the tokens are allocated for the team, but how we will distribute that is determined at a later stage when tokens become available, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing that we learned from other projects and also being involved with other projects. It's really that, you know, if you allocate already 1% to a specific person, you're never able, if your project goes to 1 billion, for example, in market cap, yeah, you're still giving away 1% of that billion to a specific person. If that person did not deliver or does not deliver, then you're already, yeah, well, you're already fucked, because the tokens still go to that person. So in the end, yeah, you should, you know, structure it a little bit different. That's what we learned, and how we actually did it right now. Also, an important note here is that, of course, team and advisor tokens will only come into circulation after 1 year, so 1 year lock, and 36 months of vesting. So this also shows, of course, the dedication of the team, and you know, of the vesting periods of the team and advisor tokens.
Yeah. Okay. Then next up we have the operations treasury at 10%.
Yeah, so operations treasury is mainly for the day-to-day business. So, you know, do we want to list on an exchange, or do we want to, you know, get some subcontractor ongoing, have some deals into place with third parties? Then, yeah, those tokens are actually meant for that. Also, of course, if there's a need to, well, liquidate some tokens or have some real-world payments going on, because there's, well, maybe no treasury or whatsoever, then we're able to do that from that side.
Yeah, straightforward. And then
and those will also, I think it's also important to note that those will also be vested over, I think, 5-year period or something, 4 or 5 years, with monthly vesting, of course, from the start, but vested over 5 years. So that's also, again, a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, early backers 3%. We got a lot of questions about this because people weren't sure what this is, but you can clarify that for them.
Yeah, that's an important one. It's also one of the structure, because we already had an established community before from Hodl Finance, and that's actually the project that we actually pivoted from now to Reform DAO with a better focus on market making, and the whole structure actually revisited and changed. So that's actually now how it's in place, and how we also actually were able to establish such a strong community already from day one. So early backers is actually the people that were with us with the old token, and are going to be with us also for the future, that established our sort of core community in the end. So those will also be unlocking over a period of 10 months.
All right. I think that's very clear as well. Market making 2.8%. This also needs some clarity, because what does that mean?
Yeah, so market making is, of course, very important. You need to have a market maker in place to make sure that you can provide for liquidity on the exchanges, so that everyone is able to buy the token. This is also what we dove into, of course, earlier in, I think, not the last broadcast, but the broadcast before. That we actually dove into the fact that you need always a market maker, and that market maker needs tokens to actually suffice for liquidity on the exchanges, so that you and me are actually able to buy on the exchange itself. So that's also for Reform in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, then one other most anticipated launch incentives. I think before you even start, a lot of questions were asked in the community. We will get back on this, but there's a lot of things that are included in the launch incentives, right?
Yeah, so the launch incentives exist out of multiple categories, so to say. We have there the launch pads, we have there the KOLs, we have there let me think, like the decentralized exchange launch pads, the centralized exchange launch pads, the KOLs, and also, of course, what you all know, the airdrop allocation.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people have asked questions about this. I think one of the things that we have said always, and that we can't say yet, is that we haven't exactly figured out how the launch incentives are divided, because there's 100 factors that determine this. But
I think I think also important to mention here is that everything that's being allocated from the launch incentives to different categories, it's actually very important to think of that very thoroughly, because if you give away, let's say for the airdrop, let's say 0.5% of the 1%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that suffice for growth, and does that suffice for the attention that you want in the project for everyone, right, to be a better project? So in the end, you also want, of course, KOLs. You also want to have, of course, the launchpads to have more and more awareness. You don't want to give too much allocation, but also not too less to people whenever they buy, and also make sure that they are going to be aligned to actually also be incentivized to join even more in the project, to become active community members. So I think in the end, the allocation of the launch incentives needs to be structured properly. We could not say upfront what it's going to be exactly for airdrop or launchpads or whatsoever, because it's still ongoing to allocate that appropriately. But whenever that's fully decided upon, and it's probably going to be 1 week before we even launch, since the talks keep on going to get better and bigger partners, then we will be able to disclose, or it will be even at launch, that everyone knows what it is exactly. So that's just important for everyone to know. It's not done on purpose. It's mainly done because of the fact that we want to get the most value for the Reform token out of it, so that everyone is benefiting from that.
Exactly. I think to summarize what you just said very, very shortly, it's basically the the less percentage we are dedicating towards the airdrop means actually more is done to create a better token, which means your airdrop is going to multiply by a bigger amount, meaning it's going to be worth more. So in the end, even if the percentage for the airdrop is lower than what it would be right now, it's for a good reason that will make sure that the airdrop becomes more valuable. So
exactly. It should one should outweigh the other. That's the main thing. So if there's like, okay, we want to incentivize people to bring more value, then it should also bring more value than we're giving away. So that's like the logic, calculation that you need to make.
Exactly. Like, exactly. And I think that's important to say. And the moment we have more clarity on exactly how this looks like, because obviously you guys can imagine we're talking with a lot of different partners, a lot of NDAs, there's a lot of things we can't disclose, because by saying one of them, we probably make it too obvious about all the others. The moment we can announce this, we will of course tell you guys the first, because I know there was a lot of questions about it from the guys in the community, our loyal community members who have been here from the start, who we definitely want to incentivize a lot with the airdrop. And I also would recommend everyone to please go to reformdao.com/airdrop to read about the different airdrops, because I still see a lot of questions that we have answered multiple times, and it's all on there as well. I'm happy to, of course, answer them 100 more times, but most of the information is already online. So also for you guys, feel free to have a look there and check it out, because there's a lot you can find already online. And the last thing I want to say before we continue on that as well is that we will be hosting like AMA sessions in our Discord, where you guys can join in live basically, and ask us these questions, and we can discuss it more in detail. If you have the same questions that have been asked or things we haven't mentioned yet in this phase or in the broadcast, you can ask us there. We'll start doing these very soon as well. So make sure you join our Discord, because it's going to be a lot of fun there. It is already a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of more fun. Okay, so back to the topic that matters more. Then the last part is the liquidity pool at 0.2%.
Yeah, so liquidity pool, well, everyone knows what it is and what it is for. It's of course for the decentralized exchanges. So the market making part is mainly for the centralized exchanges, and the 0.2% of liquidity pool is mainly going to be towards a decentralized exchange to suffice for a liquidity pool where everyone can trade on in a decentralized way, and not per se needs to have an account on the centralized exchange.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, well, there's two more side things that I wanted to jump into today. And time is flying by, but I think it's good to mention it. We don't have to do a very big deep dive, because we'll make that a part of the Reform Academy very soon, so people can read and see and learn all about it. But can you maybe quickly explain the staking mechanism of the token?
You mean how it works in the dashboard, or how it works in general?
How it works in general.
So there's different ways how you can actually stake your tokens. You can of course buy the bonding. Through the bonding, it will automatically be allocated in your preferred locking period in the staking treasury. So that's one. You can also buy it on the exchange, send it to your MetaMask or whatsoever decentralized wallet, and then stake it from there. Of course, there's always a bigger incentive for you to buy it through the bonding, because you also get a discount with it. So there's always better to do it there. But that's two ways to get into the staking treasury. Then from the staking treasury, you will actually earn reform tokens. The reform tokens, whenever you claim them, will actually be vested over a period of 1 year. You can claim them whenever you want, but you will have to claim only the part that you've actually been vested, and the rest will actually be donated to the bonding treasury. If you wait for the full year, everything is unlocked. So that's of course the incentive for everyone to just hold on tight. But if price goes bananas, I can also understand that someone wants to force unlock it, as we call it, and then you're able to utilize those tokens already with the market going up. So that, and then of course that's the reform side. So for the reform token, and then we also have the part of the market making projects. So we are aiming to actually bound this a pool to actually the current staking treasury, so that you still have to do it through the same sort of interaction in the dashboard, and that everything will flow at once, as well the reform tokens, as well as the tokens from the market making projects. But those will be added in the dashboard late on the later stage whenever this will start.
Okay. Well, as I said, it's quite a difficult subject on its own. So I think we'll definitely make a bit of a deep dive on this and potentially even discuss it in one of the future broadcasts. But it definitely will be part of the Reform Academy. And then lastly, how does the force unlock work? Because people might want to, they stake their tokens, they locked it for a year in the bonding treasury, and after 6 months, they're like, no, I need to get the money out. How does it work?
Sorry, if you put your tokens in the bonding treasury and you want to get them out early?
Yeah, basically, so a force unlock of your tokens, whether they're staked or through the bonding treasury or.
Yeah, so for now, only the tokens that you have unlocked by your staking reward, those can be claimed before actually the vesting period ends. The rest will be donated to the bonding treasury. We also integrated the feature that there will be a force and stake, and that's actually unstaking your full amount that you bought through the bonding treasury. And yeah, again, being able to do with it what you want. But that's also bound to a penalty, because we need to penalize that, because otherwise you can buy with 40% discount, just force and stake, and then you don't pay a penalty. You can just drain everything. So it has been thought through very well. It's not live from day one, and we will actually we put in the feature just for the community to vote upon at a specific time, because in the beginning it will maybe cause too much selling pressure or whatsoever. But if the community votes in a few months for enabling it, then we're more than open to do that, and to make sure that we're going to create a sustainable ecosystem, all of us together.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a clear story. Definitely, I'm very much looking forward to seeing more options roll out on that as well. Well, let's quickly run to our next studio, where we have a few more minutes left for some of the questions that the community asked. I've seen some questions in the chat as well. But yeah, let's run there, and I'll see you there.
See you in a bit.
Back. Scorpio, still here?
Yo, we're here. Yo.
Nice. Okay. So I have seen some questions in the chat. Let me just quickly answer some of these to clarify some things. I believe we are aware that there is an issue with the bot in our Discord that's rewarding our members. That will be fixed. Don't worry, you get your points. We're obviously there. Another question, or another few things that I saw, is that a lot of people mentioned, remember the community. Without the community, there's no reform. Well, obviously you're 100% right, but that's also why it's so important that we're DAO guys. Like, you are reform, basically. The moment you get your tokens, you are part of this. You have the voting rights, and we're working for you instead of the other way around. So we can't even forget you if we wanted, basically. And we don't, because we can guarantee you that the airdrop is going to be definitely worth your time. because indeed you guys are very very much helping us out right now. So let's dive into some of the questions. Scorpio, when will the team announce new partnerships?
Well, like I said, we announced actually yesterday, of course, our advisor, which I also see as some sort of partnership. We, of course, announced Decubate last week, which is just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of things are still coming, of course. But yeah, you know, this will be announced in due time. We just need to make sure that everything will come at the right time, because in crypto, like the attention span is just so much, so to say. It's not, you don't have infinite amount of time to launch the project successfully. And I think that's of course of utmost importance, and that's also why we started, of course, off with a testnet so that everyone could come in and actually see how the project actually works, what it is, and actually test if it's working well. Then, of course, the next phase was to really actually from of course the testnet, we're now going to educate people through the broadcast, through the academy that's coming, and then everyone is aware of what's reform is and how it exactly works, and tested the dashboard. And then we actually go to the next phase, which is really like the phase where we're going to announce everything that's coming to fruition. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be the biggest banger, of course, of reform, to make sure that we get the most attention in the space by announcing all these partnerships. But hang on for that, because it needs to be done in an appropriate way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I saw a question from someone as well, which I didn't put on the list, but I think it's important to say as well. They said, well, you announced an advisor and a company, and what do these people or these companies do for reform? Well, guys, it's important that you read the announcement, but also feel free to search around, because we've already mentioned Mark van der Zijs, who's a very, very well-known entrepreneur and an incredible background. So he brings a lot of value for the company. And the other announcement was with Haken, which basically audited our smart contracts, which is very important. And that's why we made an announcement, because they finished their audit. Also, they will most likely be joining us very soon on one of the spaces to talk about that. So it will be one of the guests that will join us soon. And then, as Scorpio said, there's a lot more coming. The next question is, can a diamond member or OG member get whitelisted in the IDO? And basically that's included with the next question with, will there be a pre-sale of the reform tokens? What can we say about it right now, Scorpio?
So for now, I would only say, okay, the Launchpad partners that we're going to work, like I said, right, there's only some amount of launch incentives we have. As of now, we're doing that mainly to create awareness. So I think for our community, the biggest possibility to get tokens at the first stage, and maybe even for free, is like through the airdrop. So keep pushing that to make sure that you get at least an allocation token. For private sale and IDO, we have that through our partners, which are also going to spread it amongst their KOLs and their communities. And of course, getting more and more people actually involved with the reform. So in the end, it's all about the Launchpads partners, the KOLs, and actually the airdrop. Be sure to be included in one of them. So also keep an eye on, of course, our socials, which Launchpads we're launching with. So that you actually know that you were able to get your hands on some tokens, either way or the other. But for now, private sale for the community is not per se on the roadmap, but for at least the Launchpads and and the Launchpads, decentralized or centralized, it's both there. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah. All right. Moreover, another question: what does the KYC integration mean? Because we mentioned it in our roadmaps, and I think we've already explained this before, that what we see in the roadmap is KYC of exchanges. Those are not the exchanges we necessarily will list on. Those are the exchanges we want to become a market maker at, right?
Exactly. So, as a market maker, it's just very important to have as many connections as possible to different exchanges to offer your services over a variety of exchanges to projects. So, the KYC integrations are just of crucial essence to actually make sure that you're able to operate there. for as well the liquidity provision and high frequency trading side, as well as the designated market making for projects. So yeah, both ways for us. It's for reform actually. It's crucial to have those.
Yeah. There was another question. What will be the circulating supply upon the TGE/launch?
So at TGE, we will have 3.1%, 3.15% or something circulating of the total supply, of which 3% is allocated towards the market making and the liquidity pool. And then, yeah, the other, what did I say? Like 0.15% to 0.2% is actually, yeah, going towards, yeah, other like launch incentives and everything.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's quite low, right, compared to what you see in the space.
Yeah, so you know what's important here is that actually, yeah, you make sure that your initial market cap is as low as possible to make sure that you also get a very solid launch and actually can ensure that you're going to be a solid project for the longer period of time, and that not everything is going to be sold on day one.
Yeah. Another one, which I think is a very, very important question, because if you don't know this, I can understand why you would ask it. What blockchain will Reform launch?
That's a very good question. Initially, we thought of, okay, what chain has the best infrastructure? What chain is the most established? Of course, there are a lot of chains that you can launch on. Also, the thing is that there's a lot of layer 2s that you can launch on that are scalable, but not per se prove themselves yet, because there's so many layer 2s. You need to pick your poison. So what we said, okay, we want to launch our robust infrastructure and everything on Ethereum, but have in the back of our minds to also create the bridges towards more cheap chains to make sure that that's available for everyone. Because I also can understand that the gas fees on Ethereum are sometimes too high, but also take into consideration that infrastructure and robustness of an ecosystem is worth far more than actually starting on the chain and then the chain goes away or whatsoever. So that's for now what it is.
Let's see. There was a question, when will the third airdrop go live? Well, we've already answered that multiple times. That's tomorrow in our academy. So we'll have our Reform Academy, which will go live tomorrow, which will be linked with another Galaxy campaign. You need to do the Reform Academy, then you need to pass the quiz of the different subjects or the different episodes. That will give you a certain role in the Discord, which you can claim your points in Galaxy. If you complete the Galaxy, you get rewarded with the third airdrop. And then just quickly to explain it again, yes, you can get all 3 airdrops. So yes, you can become a diamond member in the Discord to get an airdrop. You can complete the Reform Academy Galaxy to get an airdrop. And you can complete all the tasks in our testnet if you are eligible to join there. And you also get an airdrop. So there's 3 ways you can get an airdrop. If you get all 3, you're going to have a nice bull run, I think. Because, that's a lot of Reform tokens. And then the last questions that I had on my list for now, Scorpio, are about the NFTs. But I think it makes more sense if we dedicate that a bit more in depth on one of the future broadcasts rather than answering them right now.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and I already see it's also past our hour. So I think it's a good time to close it off for today. As I said, guys, most of these questions came from our community within the Discord. We will be hosting dedicated AMA sessions in the Discord. So you people, everyone that has questions, everyone that's not in the Discord, you should join these AMAs in the Discord. We're there to answer everything and more on in a more intimate setting. Let's put it that way. And then I want to thank you very much for being here again today, Scorpio.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I actually thought that I was off today. Well, that's actually what you said last week, but most likely it's going to be next week. But anyway, I enjoyed to explain all about Reform to all of you. Drag you down the rabbit hole and make you understand everything in regards to Reform. So happy to be here again. Happy to explain everything and happy to elaborate on the questions that you all had. I'm happy to do it again next week and all the weeks after, as long as Reform is here and as long as we keep on grinding with the whole model.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for tuning in today, and we wish you all an amazing day. See you next week.
Thank you very much. Have a good week. Bye-bye.